Hello, beautiful beings of divine light. Welcome to another Universe Podcast episode. This is episode 14. This is how to actualize your best version of yourself right now. I'm going to share with you some things that are going to be extremely powerful and are probably going to change your life. Now, one thing I want to say and clearly state is that you already are the best version of yourself. You are already living the version of yourself that you want to become. And I'll share with you why that is and how you can realize that you don't really have to change anything. All you have to do is realize what you already are and what you have at your disposal to use. So I'll start with some personal experience and I'll go over the three things that I want you guys to acknowledge and understand that you can use to leverage and become the version of yourself you want to become now. There's three principles and there's three exercises or practices that you guys can develop to stand out amongst the crowd and be who you were born to be. Three principles starting. Number one is what you think about expands. If you think about how much money you're making, more money is going to come into your life. If you're thinking about how stressful it is to pay the bills, more stress will come in when it has to do with the bills. If you're thinking about how much money you're making, more money is going to come in. If you are thinking about how stressful the bills are, more stress will come in from the bills because your mind will perpetuate what you believe to be reality. And that leads us to the second principle. Number one is what you think about expands. Number two is what you believe is absolute reality will be created in your world. What you believe is absolute truth in your reality will become your world. That means that if you believe that you are capable of success and you will inevitably succeed and be the person that you are meant to be, your mind will create that outcome in a way that you can feel and speak and be that person, identify with it, and even build the habits and behavior to truly live that version of you. That's number two. Number three is every single thought is eternal. A thought itself is eternal until it is rethought or unthought. That means whatever thought that you were told years ago when you were really, really young, or even thoughts you've told yourself now, they will continue to fester in your mind and grow until you decide to rethink that thought or unthink it. It is your decision. Either way, though, what you think about will forever continue to expand and create the reality you're currently living. That's the three principles. What you think about expands. What you believe to be absolutely true in your reality is what you will create. And number three is a thought is eternal until it is rethought or unthought. Now, I want you guys to understand these three things are extremely powerful. Extremely. And the reason why I want you guys to acknowledge these principles is because these thoughts that you're having, they are thoughts that you've had before. And they're thoughts that you will continue to have unless you rethink them or you unthink them. With that being said, let's get into the first exercise I want to share with you. First one's journaling. Journaling changed my life. A lot of this is coming from personal experience because I'm already living the version of myself that I've always wanted to be. And I'll tell you right now, it feels absolutely incredible. And one of the most important things is I didn't have to jump in another body. I didn't have to sell my soul. I didn't have to work so hard to be this person. Most of the time when I realize I'm already living the version of myself I want to be, it's because I'm realizing I don't have to work that hard to be that. I don't have to work at all. It's really just about realizing it and identifying with that. And from there, really doing the things that that person does. And there's so many thoughts that have been programmed into our head that make us think that we are not the person that we are, but we already are. We are exactly who we are meant to be. But there are certain thoughts and emotions that we have linked since birth, since very, very young, since we were first programmed, that don't allow us to experience the true selves that we are, the true nature of our being, and the true abundance that's already within us. So I'll show you how to do that and how to tap into it through these three things. Number one is journaling. So from there, writing down reprograms your subconscious mind. Writing itself. When you write something down, you are changing the way that your mind functions. You are rewriting it. You are literally rewriting and reprogramming the code in your mind. The subconscious mind is responsible for 95 to 99% of your behavior. That means that 99% of what you do every single day for the past years of your life and for the continuous years of your life, it's all habitual. That means that it's unconscious and you are just doing it out of habit. So how can we align ourselves, right? And how can we see the habits that we have and change them for the better? How can we identify these patterns that are controlling our lives subconsciously and change them for the better? Number one is journaling, writing them down. When you get a piece of paper and a pen and you write, you're not only exercising your ability to write and expanding your mind, but you are also identifying certain subconscious patterns that repeat themselves. And from there, once you are aware, that's when transformation begins. That's when you decide, I don't believe this anymore. This is not what I believe anymore. This is not relevant to my current circumstances or my current situation. Therefore, I do not believe this anymore. I will change it. I will take action to make it a reality that I want to experience. And so it is. That is the power of journaling. You decide, once you see it on the paper, you decide what you are going to do as a result of that. Now, with that being said, number two is habits. Habits. This is 99% of who you are to 95%. Right? Most people are living at 99% because they don't really think about what they're doing in their lives. They're kind of just on autopilot. A lot of people are on autopilot. I can even say that I am too. But I've designed my mind in such a way that when I'm on autopilot, I can observe what I'm doing and make sure that it's in alignment with what I'm going to be creating for the future, for humanity, and for myself as well. It's not just an automatic behavior that I kind of let run loose, which most people do. It's an automatic behavior that I've created and programmed into my mind so that I know when I'm running automatically, I am doing things that I know are going to progress my consciousness and help others grow as a result of that as well. So it's not something that's just running automatically and taking me into this life that I don't want to live. I'm taking myself directly to where I want to live subconsciously. And I'll show you right now. With your habits, that is how you can change and become the version of yourself that you've always wanted to become. So how can we do this? Well, number one, with journaling, you can reprogram your mind so that you can identify patterns and decide, is this resonating with the version of myself that I want to become right now? If it's not, throw it away. If it is, perfect. Keep moving forward. Take action. And now, number two, build habits that will align with the identity that you want to become, with the version of yourself that you want to become. All right, because your identity is directly rooted in your habits. I do things every single day that reinforce the identity of me being who I am and me living the version of myself that I want to be. I do these things every single day, right? Whether it's swimming, whether it's making content, whether it's recording this podcast for you to listen to right now. So many other countless things that I'm doing every day that reinforce the identity of who I am and who I want to be. So I invite you to do the same. Create habits and even observe the habits you have now and ask yourself, is this actually who I want to be? Is this actually the version of myself that I want to be right now? Is this the person that I want to create for the future? Because your habits, there's a beautiful quote that I'm going to repeat to you. People do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. So understanding this is so important because you are not thinking every single day and making decisions every single day about what's going to create your future. You think about those things once or twice a day, and then the rest is subconscious. The rest is done automatically. That means how can we align ourselves with things that are going to be done automatically, but get us to where we want to be? That all starts with your identity. So do things that are directly rooted in the identity of who you want to become, which could be meditating, journaling, running every day, exercising, eating healthy. All of these things, properly managing your money is even also a really amazing habit to have as well for the best version of yourself. Now, what I want you to understand is that not everyone is going to have, and not everyone is required to have the same habits to be the best version of themselves. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to journal. You don't have to do all these things. What you do have to know is be aware, being aware, right? And that's why journaling is so powerful. And that's why I'm inviting you to participate in it, because this is how you can identify the current patterns that you have in your brain on paper. You can't just jump into your subconscious mind and be like, oh, this is this. I want to change this. I want to change that. No, you can use a blank sheet of paper and a pen to write down consistent repeating patterns of thought that are going over and over and over in your mind. And when you decide and you look at them face to face for what they are at face value, you decide, is this something I want to become? Is this who I really want to be? If it's not, you know exactly what you have to do. And if it is, welcome. Number two, habits, guys. Habits is so powerful because this is going to transform your identity and inevitably the person that you become. Small, remarkable results will create outstanding creations in the future. Small efforts every single day will create remarkable results. It is so powerful to build small little habits every single day that are moving you towards who you want to be. You don't have to do it 100% every day. You don't have to burn yourself out. The whole point is to build a system of habits that will allow you to get to the place you want to be in the future and be the person you want to be right now. It's not about who you want to be in the future. It's about who you are going to be right now, because who you're going to be right now is going to determine what type of habits you build, which will inevitably be the person that you become in the future. With that being said, I have two things I want to share with you about habits. Number one is habit stacking. When you are, for example, getting in the car or entering the door of your house or waking up, stack a habit on top of that. Let's say I wake up and the first thing I do, I stack a habit on top of that after waking up. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to meditate for 1 minute. Boom. After I've meditated for 1 minute, what else can I stack on top of that that's a habit? Journal for 5 minutes. Journal about my thoughts, about my reflections, about how I want to plan my day. Stack another habit on top of that. Say what you're thankful for or appreciate everything you have in your life and how blessed you are to be able to wake up and see another day. These are examples of habit stacking. When you stack these habits, they become automatic. And that means that these things literally start to control your life in a positive way. Right? A lot of people probably already do habit stacking. They say, oh, since I ate unhealthy, I'm probably just going to go and watch Netflix. Since I'm going to watch Netflix, I'm probably going to jump on social media for 2 hours. So I'm going to jump on social media for 2 hours. I'm just going to think about how lazy I am and I don't want to do anything with my life. This is the exact same thing called habit stacking. You just stack habits on top based on the identity that you are reinforcing within yourself. Now, moving on with habits, one thing else before we move on I want to share with you is the power of doing something that you don't want to do or that you need to do before you do what you want to do. So finding something that you want to do, let's say you want to jump out of a plane for the first time. Let's say I really want to jump out of a plane today. Do something that you need to do before, because this is going to build such a healthy relationship with your chemicals in your brain, dopamine, serotonin, all these things. And a majority of them are created actually in your gut as well. That's something to keep in mind. 90% of your serotonin is created in your gut. 50% of your dopamine is created in your gut. And these are the neurotransmitters or chemicals in our brain that make us feel happy, rewarded, motivate us, and move us to actually create the life we want to live and create things that we want to experience. With that being said, habits are so important. And one of the biggest habits that I've used to create the life I wanted to live is changing what I consume. Not just physically, not just food, but online, virtually, mentally. What am I going to tolerate in my mind? What am I going to tolerate and allow things to happen outside of me, right? Like, to what extent am I going to let these things unfold? When am I going to set the line and set the boundary and be like, all right, this is enough. This is enough. That's also something that can become a habit when you start setting boundaries. So powerful, because you remain in the boundaries of the person you want to become. Now, I'm not saying limit yourself, but understand that you should limit certain things from your awareness because they are not going to benefit you. You determine what benefits you. You determine what doesn't. With that being said, doing something that you want to do, but before that, doing something you need to do, is going to literally create the most marvelous results in your entire life. Because not only are you doing something that's challenging you, but as a result, from the reward of that, you get to do something you want to do. And one, you're getting things done. And two, you're doing things you want to do, which is an extremely powerful habit. And over the course of a year, you'd be surprised that you can get 365 things done that you want to do, while also doing 365 things that you want to get done. If you actually just do it once a day. That's if you do one thing that you want to do a day and one thing that you need to do a day. What happens if you do 3 things that you want to do a day, or 3 things that you want to that you need to do as well? You see the point. The more that you incorporate this of doing what you want to do, but beforehand doing what you need to do, your life will literally transform, and you will literally start to realize and identify as the version of yourself you want to become. Because at the end of the day, you have exactly what it takes to be the version of yourself you want to become. It's all within you, and it all starts with what you do right now. Don't put so much pressure on yourself because of that. Just understand that make the decisions that you want to be thankful for in the future. What will your future self thank you for if you start making decisions right now? What is something that, 3 months down the line, 3 years or 30 years down the line, you're going to look back and be like, I'm really thankful that my past self did that, because now here I'm sitting on a much higher position and I have a higher advantage now because I created that a long time ago. That's amazing. And that's something that I would highly recommend for you to encourage and participate in. Number 3, most importantly, is emotions. The emotions is what controls your entire life. We are emotional creatures at our core. That means that our minds, specifically our subconscious mind, is driven by emotions. It's driven by not logic, but emotions. And it's driven by the way that you associate things with emotions. Your mind has 2 different parts, many different, but 2 main parts, the conscious and the subconscious. The subconscious can be incorporated into the unconscious mind, but we'll call it the subconscious for now. The subconscious mind is not running on logic. It is not running on analytic. Okay. It's not running on processing things logically. It's running on emotions. It takes everything literally. That means if you say, hey, there's a pirate that's going to come out with a boat. He's going to pull up with a boat right outside of your house. And he's going to drop all this treasure on you. And he's going to be like, hey, have a good day. This is all yours, millions of dollars. Your subconscious mind does not reject that and must accept that. That's the power of your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind is almost like a child's mind, where it does not have the ability to reject and must accept what it is told. That's why a lot of the things that we do now are so automatic, because we can't reject them and we must accept them. And those are things that we were told so long ago that are driving our lives now. And our conscious mind, the gatekeeper of our mind, is the one that decides that is not true. You use logic and you use analytics to actually understand and try to create a result in your life that is aligned with that. When you think logically, it's conscious, right? You're consciously thinking. Anytime you have a conscious thought, it typically has to be associated with logic. You're typically thinking logically. How can I best do this in the most logical form? Or processing things and analyzing it. Is this the best decision to make? Your subconscious mind does not do that. Your subconscious mind takes everything into account and uses emotions to drive you forward. That is the connection that it has to the quantum realm as well, that it is not limited to one view of reality. It observes. That's the part of your mind that observes and creates everything based on what you tell it and what you believe about yourself. Coming back to the second principle that I shared with you earlier, what you believe to be absolute truth in your reality is what you will create. If you literally think, which is not something to judge because your subconscious mind literally thinks everything and takes it into account. Your conscious mind is there for a reason, to block things that you believe are logically not going to help you or logically will go and help you. You determine that. The subconscious mind is driven by emotions, and that means that most of your thoughts that you're making underneath the logic thinking and the logical interpretations of what you're experiencing, it's emotion. Your emotions are driving you. Your emotions are creating the world that you want to experience. So how can you change your emotions to create a world and be the version of yourself you want to become right now? Very, very simple. Change your thoughts. Change the thoughts you have. Rethink a thought or unthink it. There are thoughts, like I said, that are eternal. All thoughts are eternal. But there are certain thoughts that we have thought for so long about money, about relationships, about friends, about people, about work, and about success. There are thoughts that we've been programmed into our mind that now we have the conscious decision to say, I'm going to rethink this thought, or I'm going to unthink this thought. That is the power that you have in this conscious standpoint of your current present moment. Consciously, you decide, is this something that I'm going to think, or I'm going to change this thought? This is so powerful because your conscious decision to change your thought is going to create an emotional association with your subconscious mind. That means if you think, instead of I am poor, I'm not making enough money, I am rich and I'm making more money than I could ever imagine, you can think of that all consciously all you want. I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. But if your subconscious mind is emotionally rooted in the belief that you are poor, nothing is going to change. So target your subconscious mind and rethink, hey, why is it so difficult for me to make money? Why is it that I think these thoughts about making money? Why is it that I think this about relationships? Why is it that it's so hard for me? Or why do I have to work so hard for success? Because it's a subconscious belief that you have. It's an emotion that you've attached to that belief that's driving you to make decisions based on that. You're creating your reality based on what you absolutely believe. That is the power you hold. And that is the power that you can use and leverage to create and become the version of yourself you want to become right now. Use your thoughts to attach emotions to them and drive the thoughts that you want to experience, and think of the thoughts that you would want to get results out of. If you enjoy and like to satisfy and entertain the feeling or the thought of being rich, the more that you think about that, the more it's going to expand. The more that you think about that, the more it's going to expand. Continue to think about being rich and you will inevitably become rich. This is how it works. Your subconscious mind using emotion will literally harness that and create your reality as a result. Your mind, until you change a thought, is eternal and will continue to create a certain reality. Absolutely. That's it, guys. Not that hard. I will conclude very simply, super, super easy. The 3 principles and the 3 exercises. Number 1, the first principle is a thought is eternal, and it will continue to be eternal until it is rethought or unthought. Number 2, what you think about expands. The more that you think about something, the more it will become a part of your reality. And number 3, what you believe to be absolute truth is what you will create in your reality. Write these down, incorporate it into your journaling, and you will see how this is actually a very powerful set of principles that can transform your life. And number 3, the 3 exercises that I want you guys to focus on: journaling, habits, and emotions. I invite you to look into journaling, do a little bit of research and see how this can actually impact your subconscious mind. And you can use journaling to identify patterns in your subconscious mind at this moment to determine if those are the patterns you want to be entertaining or those are patterns that are no longer serving you. That's number 1. Number 2 is habits, building the habits that are associated with the version of yourself you want to become. But it's so important to change your identity that way, because what keeps me in the sense of being myself is based on my habits, what I do every day. So do things that you know are going to reinforce the identity of being the version of yourself you want to become. Try it once every single day, 1% every day. You don't have to push yourself. You don't have to burn yourself out. But do things every single day and push yourself just a little bit out of your comfort zone so that you can start changing and be that version of yourself every single day right now. And lastly, but definitely most important, is emotions. Your emotions drive your life. They're the automatic, unconscious drivers of your life. If you have an emotion associated with a certain thought, that thought is going to be like the car, and the emotion is the gasoline, and that is going to fly. Your emotion is going to drive you exactly to who the version of yourself is going to be and who you're going to become. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. You are the most magnificent person. You already have everything you need within you. There's nothing to worry about. I love you. If you have anything you need, it's already within you. Namaste, and have a great day.